Original soundtracks for video games are vital for setting the tone and providing a through line for the experience. From Demon's Souls' first theme to Elden Ring's final battle, FromSoft doesn't just make soundtracks, they score trauma and unrivaled spectacle. We are going through every mainline game in the Soulsborne, Sekiro, Ring, whatever the hell, and naming the best track from each original soundtrack. Surely nobody will get mad at me for this list, right? Feel free to argue with me in the comments and tell me why I'm a silly boy who is wrong and you're a serious man who is right. I hope you enjoy. Quick clarification, we will be talking about the original score from 2009, composed by Shunsuke Kida, not the 2020 remake. As I listened to the full OST for Demon's Souls, it was refreshing to go in with more or less a clear mind. I didn't remember the individual tracks as well as I do for the subsequent games, so I was able to really just listen to each one at face value. There are 21 tracks in the official Demon's Souls score, many of which blended together with a more or less standard boss theme feel. Yet there are some standouts to be sure. The self-titled opening track is the one I remembered best. It is deeply atmospheric and bombastic, and I can still see that little guy flopping around in the Alps as it plays. For traditional boss themes, Tower Knight and Flame Lurker stuck out to me. Each has a necessary presence and tone for the epic fights they score. Flame Lurker might be the first true example in the series of that signature Souls blend of somber atmosphere with high adventure. The score fits the fight perfectly and paves the way for future bangers. And Return to Slumber punctuates the game and the score with a gorgeous lullaby that emphasizes the main theme and ending to Demon's Souls. The track that stuck out to me the most, and my pick for the best track in Demon's Souls, is Maiden Astraea. Real talk, I didn't remember this track at all, and I can't imagine why. It is absolutely heartbreaking from the first note, encapsulating the tragedy of Astraea. The maiden was once a saint and devout adherent to the Church of God, who embarked on a holy pilgrimage to the Valley of Defilement. Astraea and her protector, Garl Vinland, sought to bring the light of God to that rotten, fetid, depraved swamp. We feel that hope and wonder in the beginning of the track. Instead, Maiden Astraea found nothing but the silence of her God, who had abandoned the inhabitants of the valley.
Go forth, Garl Vinland. May you be unharmed.
She eventually saw the stark truth that no prayers could save them, that no divine intervention was on its way, that the teachings of the church were a lie.
Dearest Astraea, I have failed you.
The track turns sour as it progresses, losing any hope of penance.
Stop. Please stop.
Mirroring Astraea's horrifying realization. Understanding this reality, the saint became an archdemon in order to save those wretched souls. When we find her, she is in a still pool of plague, worshipped by the demonic entities around her. The mocking score mimics a hollow feeling of triumph against the darkened, droning organ, this time mirroring our feelings of guilt. And the beauty and pain of her original score make us feel her sorrowful regret as we move forward to put her out of her misery. Truly the high point of Demon's Souls OST for me.
Dear Lord, you are too cruel. You have abandoned us. Is that not punishment enough?
Magnificent! You won't be disappointed. I can hardly wait to get started.
Unlike with Demon's Souls, I have played Dark Souls 1 an unconscionable amount and had some favorites coming in. There are far more recognizable tracks in this OST, including the classic Firelink Shrine theme and menu themes. In particular, the theme of Firelink from the original Dark Souls is my home base. It is that comfort in the midst of a dying world that gives us a moment's respite. Grey Wolf Sif always stood out to me as well. The choral theme and swelling horns, the timid strings, all showing us that she is the hero of this story, not us. This is a gentle and noble creature, and our meddling carries no honor. Where Demon Souls had Estrella making us feel like a dirty piece of shit, Dark Souls has Sif. Dark Souls 1 also brings some of those bangers I mentioned earlier, most notably Ornstein and Smo. What more can be said about this track, which accompanies one of the most famous and infamous battles in the series? From the DLC, I'm partial to Calamite, which I think is criminally underrated. It hits like a freight train from note 1, and keeps up the intensity throughout, with that gorgeous interlude bridging into the second section with Gregorian chanting and creeping strings. But let's be so for real, Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, is the best and most important track in Dark Souls 1. It isn't just a beautiful elegy written for the once great Lord of Sunlight who has been cut down to this Lord of Cinder, but it is a love song written for the world of Dark Souls. As the events of the game come to a close, we are faced with the reality that our actions have been inconsequential. Our triumphs in battle were hollow, and our choice to link the first flame or let it fade into embers is meaningless. The contrast between the grandiose score heard elsewhere in the game and the minimalist piano theme of who we once thought to be the most powerful entity in the Dark Souls universe hits us like a ton of bricks. As a meta-commentary, the piece uses only white keys, never touching a sharp or flat, thematically tying to Lord Gwyn's fear of the dark. The cycles persist, as they always have, and they always will, and this one track ties these themes and emotions together in the perfect conclusion to a masterpiece in game design.
And no matter how tender, how explicit, the lie will remain a lie.
I fucking love Dark Souls 2. I am probably the most excited to do my long video on DS2 because there is so much to talk about. And the OST is no exception there. We have gone from 21 tracks in Demon Souls to 48 by Dark Souls 2. Are there some repetitive themes and motifs? Yes. Are there too many songs that sound like generic boss themes? Maybe. But the highs on this score rival any in the series, and I have a ton to get through. So let's do a little rapid fire. Firekeepers is up there with Firelink Shrine and the other themes of the series. It is gorgeous, calming, and appropriately morose, setting the tone for the more somber story of DS2. Queen of Drangleic is a haunting piano piece that hints at the sinister motives behind Nashandra's mysterious beauty. We hear the beginnings of what drove her to betray Vendrick and sit atop the throne of Want, and the track introduces us to Nashandra's boss fight before the more epic score kicks in. old Dragon Slayer goes far too hard in the paint for what is essentially a reskin of our boy Ornstein. Milfanito is a singular voice, sung by the maiden in the Shrine of Amana to comfort those bound by death and dark. This is a diegetic lullaby for the cursed undead of Dark Souls 2, taught by the Lord of the Dead, Gravelord Nito, and heard throughout the area by all its inhabitants. I almost pulled a quick one here and listed King Vendrick's theme as the best track in Dark Souls 2. I love this piece. The moment you stumble upon this once great king as he paces, dragging his blunted blade on the empty ground, and we realize that this king of the undead has fully hollowed in his regret. That is the theme of Dark Souls 2 incarnate, and the sparse and dissonant piano drives that stake straight into our collective hearts. Don't tell anyone, but I might love this moment even more than Plin Plin Plon from Dark Souls 1, and I'll die on that hill. With all that being said, you can't get mad at someone who says Casablanca or The Godfather is their favorite movie, and you can't get mad at me for picking Majula for Dark Souls 2. Majula is the best hub in the series. Its theme is the best hub world theme in the series, so much so that I am planning an entire video just on how Majula tells a beautiful lie to the player. But what else can I even say about this one? It's the perfect blend of beauty and remorse, solace and solitude, hope and hollowing. Majula is the best track in Dark Souls 2, but I'm willing to bet you already knew that.
Beasts and beasts and beasts and beasts.
This was the hardest choice I had to make in the script. There are a handful of tracks that I seriously considered putting at number 1 for Bloodborne. As I record this line, I'm still considering swapping them around. My first thought was Omen, because this track screams Bloodborne to me. This is the theme of the tarnished streets of Yharnam. Omen is the sinister beauty of the church, the depravity of the townfolk, and the brutality of the hunt rolled into one. Just listen to this shit. The Hunter's Dream is also a serious contender for best hub world track in the series, even amongst giants like Majula. It conveys the timeless mourning of the pale graveyard we hunters call home. Speaking of which, the first hunter ties up Gehrman's story as we release him from his mortal coil and his eternal duties as Keeper of the Dream. The music swells as this reluctant duel in a bed of white flowers crescendos.
Tonight, Gehrman joins the hunt.
Where Gehrman's theme was a beautiful goodbye, the first vicar is a funeral dirge for Lawrence. a man with the best of intentions who ignored the famous adage of Master Willem, exposing the denizens of Yharnam to the tainted old blood. This track is a dramatic telling of that story, playing on the motif of the cleric beast, the first boss theme most players are likely to encounter, and the embodiment of the blood sickness for which Lawrence is responsible and to which he eventually succumbed. Plus, ignoring all that stuff, it goes hard as fuck. Ludwig the Accursed was a very, very close second for Bloodborne. In fact, I love this song and this boss so much that I am planning a video alongside Chloe from Ailing the Ran all about Ludwig, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that one. I don't think I need to put into words what makes this track great, just listen. Ultimately, I went with The Hunter, Gascoigne's theme, as the best track in Bloodborne's OST. This might be the hottest take of the whole video, because I know how incredible the themes I already listed truly are. Yet when I think about everything that makes the music in Bloodborne so spectacular, it's all here. The build-up with somber and trilling strings. The devil horns blaring in as Gascoigne's beasthood tries to overtake his humanity. The back and forth between the strings and horns, playing off of one another in an ever-escalating conversation as Gascoigne's sanity slips away. The chorus pierces through in desperation. As Gascoigne transforms into a hideous beast, the music blows the bloody doors off, and the back and forth comes to an abrupt resolution. The man is gone, only the beast remains. Bloodborne's OST is a tough act to follow, but Dark Souls 3 is probably the game best equipped to answer that call. Premonition sets the tone for Dark Souls 3 perfectly. We already know the score from the first two games. The world is dying, desolate, devoid of any hope. Yet the transcendent and the horrific remains here, and those emotions are bottled up into this beautiful orchestral piece. Remember when I said Majula was the best hub world theme in the series? Well, I wrote that before re-listening to Dark Souls 3 OST, and guess what? DS3's Firelink Shrine is my favorite hub world theme in the series. Yes over Dark Souls 1 Firelink, and yes over Dark Souls 2 Majula. I still mean every word of what I said about those tracks, but DS3 Firelink is absolutely perfect for the game world. Dark Souls 3 doesn't disappoint in the boss theme department either. Vort is a classic, not only for the pounding theme for an early game boss, but also for the infinite meme potential. Slave Knight Gale gets my vote for the best boss music in the game. It does the impossible by bringing a sense of finality and closure to a game series dripping with atmosphere, story, and great original scores. Our final battle with the Slave Knight in the ashen end of the world, two nobodies, is poetry for Souls fans. Yet I knew what I was picking for Dark Souls 3 before I reviewed the OST, and re-listening to the full catalog did nothing to change my mind. The self-titled menu music is my favorite in the game, and don't tell anyone, but I think it's my favorite in the entire series. When I took off from work to play Dark Souls 3 as a grown-ass man in 2016, I got goosebumps when this music kicked in, and I still do. The Dark Souls 3 theme accomplishes what so many other tracks of the series hint at: the sublime, the melancholic grandeur and lamenting beauty of a dying world that is aware of its own death, right on schedule. When the chorus and the orchestra blend in that euphoric crescendo, before the vocals come crashing back in with the full power of the track blaring through. A beautiful introduction to one of the greatest games ever made. I have played Sekiro the least of all the games we'll be talking about today, and yes, I will be playing through the game in its entirety for a Making the Case video in the near future. I am pumped and scared about that one because I still struggle with Sekiro in a way I simply don't with these other games. All of that to say, I didn't have any favorites going into this one. Good thing there were 54 tracks to choose from. To me, the owl is the best example of a boss theme in Sekiro within the musical language of the game. We get the Eastern percussion and the gorgeous orchestrals bringing the energy to the battle. But what really sticks out is the shift to Phase 2, where the music dampens and turns mournful as the true significance of the battle begins to settle in. Divine Dragon is a tonal shift from the violence and intimacy of swordplay to a more ethereal, spectral feel. This boss fight is more of a ritual than an act of aggression, and the score matches that tone perfectly. Similar to previous tracks in the series that hint at an undercurrent of sorrow, Divine Dragon's theme is mournful and tragic, celebrating the beauty and spectacle while bemoaning its corrupting existence. At its core, Sekiro is a controlled and predictable rhythm game, but Guardian Ape flips that paradigm on its head with time signature changes and erratic drums with wildly varying intonations. It throws out the control and precision we've experienced up to this point in the game, and I love that. We aren't in control during this battle. Instead, we are fighting to survive as the Guardian Ape flails and rages like the deranged beast it is. For Sekiro, I kept coming back to a single track as the best in the OST, Ishin Ashina. First, I want to point out that this score is completely different for Ishin Ashina as opposed to the standard Ishin, the Sword Saint fight. That track is phenomenal in its own right, but it is a more straightforward battle theme. For Ishin Ashina, the score tells a tale of tragedy and heartbreak. By this point in the game, Wolf has committed atrocities to reach the Shura ending, including murdering Emma, betraying his master, and straying from the path of the shinobi, becoming a demon instead. We are not the hero of this fight, Ishin is, as he tries to put us down and end our reign of terror. The track drags and strains, almost as if it is laden with guilt from the actions of Wolf.
Beatus ille, beatus quondum nunc diminuit.
If you've watched my Elden Ring video, you might know exactly where this is going. But this game's soundtrack is unreal with its range, breadth, depth, and whatever other units of measurement you like. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. Let's talk about it again. Elden Ring understands that in a 60+ hour long game set in an open world, we don't need to be constantly bombarded with an epic battle theme while we harvest mushrooms. Instead, much of the soundtrack is restrained, even minimalist. Entering Caelid for the first time, the grating strings swarm over the player. Almost feeling like it is invading any sense of safety we enjoyed in Limgrave with a suffocating wall of dissonant sound. There is no melody to hum here. There are no gentle chords to ground you. The buzzing, strained strings resonate like a fever. And we understand exactly what kind of place we just walked into. Of course, Elden Ring also has those climactic high points, like Landsex and Placidusex. There are so many tracks to choose from in Elden Ring, but there is no musical height that compares with the final battle against Radagon of the Golden Order and the Elden Beast. As Radagon unfurls Marika's hammer, the tool that shattered the Elden Ring and may one day be used to reforge it, the opening theme pours through the screen. We may not fully understand the significance in our first playthrough, but the music is what provides the ultimate through line from opening cinematic to final battle. FromSoft's catalog of original soundtracks is legendary, arguably the greatest in gaming history, and certainly up there with the heavy hitters. There are so many great scores to choose from, but I'm going to assume that everyone agrees with everything I just said. Jokes aside, obviously there's no correct answer, and I am genuinely interested to read the comments and see what y'all have to say. As a music lover, it was not easy to quantify these beautiful pieces. Honestly, I was just looking for an excuse to talk about them. We have a massive pipeline of videos planned for the near future, including making the case for Sekiro and Dark Souls 2, the Majula deep dive, and the collab with Ailing Loran on Ludwig, which I'm really excited about. Consider subscribing to make sure you don't miss any future uploads. As always, thanks so much for watching, and special thanks to our channel members, in particular our Master Sword Lonk members, Lynx Gma, Downtown Matt, and The Count. Love y'all.